All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. No days off, still putting out content. And I'm going to talk about Belal Muhammad and Khamzat Chimaev and why this is absolutely the fight to make. And I'm going to talk about it from the three perspectives that matter. Fans, fighters, UFC as a business. It checks all the boxes, and we're going to go over why. Now, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell. If you're impressed that I'm still putting out content, even on Christmas Eve, and you know I'm going to do a video tomorrow, then maybe you could show some love by subscribing to the channel, even if you don't subscribe to channels normally. And but this is a good time also for me to say thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you guys for the ongoing support. It's been an incredible year. I would say we exceeded all expectations for 2021, and hopefully that's going to continue into 2022. So thank you guys again. All right, so Belal Muhammad, here's the deal. So let's talk about from the fighter's perspective first, right? Actually, no, let's talk about from the fans' perspective, okay? So the fans, they just want to see somebody fight Khamzat that's going to potentially advance his career. Now, that is not a knock on Belal Muhammad at all. Like, not at all. It's just the nature of the hype train, right? The nature of the hype train is the fans want to see the hype train person step up in competition, because ultimately what they're all deeply hoping for is they're hoping that you get to see this big hype train guy fight for the title. Or if they're haters, they're hoping that he loses. Okay, so either way, you're rooting for them to fight really good guys that are above them because you want them to lose, or you want to see them get to a position where they're going to fight for the title. And so Belal Muhammad, having just smashed Wonder Boy, is absolutely in that position. Wonder Boy, if he would have beat Gilbert Burns, would have fought for the title, right? He was right there. And then Gilbert Burns exposed that he had, there's a way to beat him, man. And it's not try to, dissect his karate style. It is to nullify the karate style. Get on top of him, make him work. And candidly, Belal did a much better job at it than Gilbert Burns in terms of inflicting damage. I mean, he hurt Wonder Boy. He pounded him, dude. That was a dominant victory. And he looked great doing it. So he did it wrestling, right? Now, so we'll talk about the breakdown also a little bit too. So people who are not as familiar with Belal, so like this is one thing too, like as fans, people watched him fight Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards looked very, very good against Belal, and then they had that fluky eye poke thing that was, very unfortunate. But bottom line is you didn't really see very much of Belal. You saw how good Leon Edwards was in that fight, and then Belal got touched. It was really early. It doesn't mean he couldn't have come back. And then in this next fight against Wonder Boy, you saw him take him down and put it on him. Now, if you're just basing your opinion of him on those two fights, then you're thinking, all right, so what's he going to wrestle against Khamzat? And you got to heavily lean towards Khamzat if there's going to be any kind of grappling involved in a match against that guy, right? But what you haven't seen is that Belal's stand-up is very good. Very, very, very good. He's got super, super sharp, very crisp, incredibly accurate striking. The accuracy of his hands is what shocked me the first time that I actually really was paying attention watching him fight. And I would encourage you guys to go back and do that. So it's a good matchup, and he just demonstrated strong prowess on the ground. I mean, Wonder Boy's not easy to take down and hold down. He did a really good job. Now, Khamzat seems to be some kind of superhuman that if you want to wrestle with him is not going to go well. So I'm not even going to get into the matchup itself very much here, but I'm just saying there is a stylistic, interesting matchup here for sure. Obviously, Khamzat, we have no idea really what he's got on the feet other than that he's got fast, dynamite power if he hits you with something. So that's basically the fans. Everybody wants to see it. This is like basically checks the boxes for what everybody wants to see. Okay, now for the fighters, Belal is doing the thing that everybody else was blowing it on. If we go back, I mean, I don't have, it's Christmas Eve. I don't have time to go cut the piece up and put it here, but I already did a video about this. And I said specifically that the fighters and everybody are misreading the situation with Khamzat, where they're all, well, his ranking is too low. What are you talking about? Do you really believe that's how it works? Like, you actually believe that's how it works? I know, remember when DC did the video and he was like, don't take the bait, Leon. Now, in Leon's case, that was good advice because Leon is the one guy who can just sit there and he's in line for a title shot. But outside of Leon Edwards, every other person benefits immensely from beating Khamzat Chimaev. Everyone. Because what actually drives, your ability to get a title shot, we're obviously assuming that what these people are after, what all these fighters are after is a title shot, right? If that's what they're after, it ain't just a number by your name, dude. That's not how this works. It's about the hype, son. It's about the hype. That's it. Like, it's about the hype. And so if you've got a low number by your name and then you can capture the hype, you're going to get a title shot. And how are you going to do a better job getting hype than beating Khamzat Chimaev? Okay? Like, that's the thing, dude. If you're number 4, if you're number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like, you already are in position for a title shot. Now you just need to convince everybody that you should be the guy. And how are you going to do a better job of that than beating the most highly hyped guy in the entire UFC? There isn't a better way to do it. Now, the problem with that is that you have to take the risk of actually fighting him. And that is an enormous risk from all measurable data. He's a nightmare for anybody. He's a killing machine, a smashing machine that we have not seen a single weakness from yet. I mean, that's the thing that's so crazy. It's like, there are no chinks in his armor yet. Like, you can't, it's not like you can be like, well, you can see he's vulnerable there. Where's he vulnerable? Like, where, when you watch him fight, where does he appear to be beatable? And I'm not saying that he's not, because he hasn't fought anybody good enough to expose it, but you don't know where it is because he hasn't shown any weakness at all. None. Zero. None. So, I understand why stylistically and just him as a man, you wouldn't want to fight him. But if it's because he has a low ranking, that's fucking nonsense. Stupid and not true. Like, that's inaccurate. If you're saying, oh, I have to waste my time to do, that's the opposite of that. So just go pick whatever random number 4 guy, just go look the random number 4 guy in whatever division and then compare, just think it through. Okay, if you finish that guy versus you finish Khamzat, which one do you think you're going to be in a better position to get a title shot from? It's obviously Khamzat. Belal clearly understands that. And you want to know why? Because Belal is an emotionally intelligent guy. And you want to know how I know that? I just talked about this on my last video. Because when Cody Garbrandt got knocked out, what did Belal say? He said, that's heartbreaking. Correct. That's just the correct answer. If you're a person who's emotionally intelligent. And being emotionally intelligent when it comes to the fight game means you understand how this stuff works. Okay? Like, if you're a mechanical, like, math brain, the things I say probably sound like gibberish to you. Except that somehow everything I say ends up becoming what is true, which just means I understand the game better than you do, math brain, But people like Belal, he gets it, dude. I'm not teaching him anything. He understands. That's why he's calling for that fight. So there's that. Those are the fighters. Now, from the UFC's perspective, okay? So they've got 2 objectives here, right? 1, give Khamzat a favorable matchup. And I'm not saying anything negative about Belal. I'm just saying he's probably a pretty favorable matchup for Khamzat based on what we say because of the reasons I just said, right? If he's going to try to grapple with him, they're going to like that. And it's not like he has, overwhelming titanic knockout power. Now, he can knock guys out, but like, at least I probably should have looked this up, but like what I've seen is he beats guys down over a long period of time. If he has some kind of blitzkrieg knockout, anyway, whatever. I just think the UFC will probably think it's a favorable matchup. But then there's this other thing, right? Because like we've talked about on this channel a lot, what is the objective when you put Sean O'Malley in there? Make sure he fucking wins, right? Like, make sure he wins. Why? Because if he loses, you're going to lose the potential of one of the biggest stars that you could possibly have, okay? The same is true with Khamzat, okay? But here's the thing. Where in the world is Khamzat likely to be the most popular, right? Or among what population, And so let's say that he did lose. Belal Muhammad's a good guy for him to lose to, right? Now, I don't know. I know nothing about anything relating to Belal's, actually, like, I'm not sure where he's from. I know he fights out of Extreme Couture, I believe. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have Khamzat lose to someone, Belal is a good guy to have him lose to. He's with Ali Abdelaziz. There's a lot of people on his team where there's like crossover in their fan base to where, like, if someone's going to steal Khamzat's shine, he's a good guy to do it if you're trying to manage, collective energy in the direction of a specific fighter, right? Because people who are fans of Khamzat are very likely to be fans of Belal Muhammad as well. And so it's just, like, this fight checks all the boxes. It just checks all the boxes. I would be very excited to see this fight, especially given how good Belal looked in that last fight. But anyway, that's pretty much what I got. So if you like the content, feel free to subscribe and then ring the bell. Merry Christmas. I love you guys. Peace.